Hello, I'm Mario. I'm an artist and leathercrafter, and as a leathercrafter, I have an interest in the things people carry with them daily. And when I recently made a personal visit to the National WW2 Museum in Louisiana, I was also on the lookout for just that, items that people carry daily except through combat. People have carried leather into battle for centuries, but a mainstay of the leathercraft hobby and many people's first project is the wallet. And during my museum visit, I found a wallet that permanently changed how I view and connect to the events of World War II. This video was made possible by the good folks over at Texas Leather Tools. They're not your average stamps, they're affordable, solid brass, and backed by a lifetime guarantee. Each one is American made by a professional, in-house in Texas. With a variety of pre-made and custom stamps, beginner or pro, you'll find the perfect design. Check the video description for a link to the website and a 10% off coupon code. So, thanks again to Texas Leather Tools. I'll show these in action later. During my trip to the National World War II Museum, I was expecting to learn some history and maybe find some inspiration, and I did. Their exhibits are incredibly informative and humbling. Like most others in my generation, I first learned about the World Wars in school, but the separation of time makes it hard for us to truly grasp the actions of those that came before us. However, as I viewed the Pacific Theater exhibits, the humanity behind World War II finally clicked for me when I saw this leather wallet. This simple wallet belonged to James Willard Oglesby, a 21-year-old American soldier from Shreveport, Louisiana, who fought in Papua New Guinea after the events of Pearl Harbor. And, after reading his story, and through the lens of leather, I felt my first personal connection to someone from that pivotal age of worldwide conflict. So, I felt inspired to recreate his wallet. Now, I can't recreate the wallet exactly as it was, but I'm keeping the major vintage forms intact, like the color scheme and the slanted pockets, while widening them a little bit to make room for stacking up to 3 cards, since, well, payment cards didn't exactly exist when Mr. Oglesby's wallet was made. In fact, the closest thing around at the time was the charge-a-plate, which was kept by a shopkeeper rather than in personal wallets. It wasn't until the 50s that Americans saw the first modern payment card with the Diners Club card. Until then, wallets and bifolds mostly had compartments for bills, coins, IDs, and small keepsakes. I also enjoy the scoring on the inner spine. I feel it looks a bit Art Deco, so I'll be keeping that. The cash pocket divider is another aspect I'd like to preserve, and I can't really see if there are hidden pockets on the inside, so I'll be including some to increase the wallet's capacity. Now, because of how the wallet was displayed, I couldn't see the outer shell, which leaves some room for creativity. The 30s and 40s saw quite a bit of hand-tooled designs on leather goods, so I like to imagine Mr. Oglesby's wallet, gifted to him by his brother Burl Mac Oglesby, had a lovely embossed design. So, of the 4 stamps you saw earlier from Texas Leather Tools, I chose the hollow diamond paired with the sunburst border fill, which are both part of the classic Western intro set. It has that Art Deco aesthetic that was popular during the time, and I think it'll look incredible, so I'm going with that. I included a link to that intro set in the description below if you wanted to check it out. And now that I've tooled the outer shell, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, I'm going to punch some stitching holes, and then it's off to apply some dye. For this build, I decided I'm going to try a sunburst dye pattern, which I believe will give the wallet a warm vintage aesthetic while making those diamonds really pop, especially after I hit it with some mink oil. So, while I continue to craft and assemble the pieces, I think I'll tell you what I've learned about James W. Oglesby. James Willard, born to James Darlton Oglesby and Virgie Elizabeth Gibson in Shreveport, Louisiana, enlisted in the Army after the attack on Pearl Harbor. He and an estimated 280,000 others from Louisiana, including women and African Americans, contributed significantly to the war effort, with Louisiana's manufacturers producing ammunition, ships, dehydrated foods, and synthetic rubber. New Orleans also served as a crucial port, moving soldiers, equipment, and war supplies. James fought in the Pacific Theater in particular Bougainville, Papua New Guinea, which was the stage for treacherous ground battles, such as the Kokoda Track campaign in 1942, the Bunagona campaign in 1943, and the broader New Guinea campaign that continued from 42 until the end of the war, where Allied forces fought through harsh jungle terrain to push Japanese forces off of the island. Before leaving for the war, James quietly married his girlfriend Margaret. Together, they kept their marriage a secret. And after he made the ultimate sacrifice in Bougainville on March 25, 1944, Margaret continued to keep their secret, so that James's parents would receive his life insurance payments instead of her. After being notified of his passing, James's family received a few of his belongings, including his leather wallet. James was later buried in Claiborne, Louisiana. Now, for the rest of the video, I'd like to just stay silent, both to let the crafting process speak for itself, and as a moment of silence in remembrance of those who gave their lives during World War II. Okay, the wallet is now finished. For comparison, here's James's first wallet, and here is my modern recreation inspired by it. I may be a bit biased, but I think it turned out beautiful, and I like to think James would think so as well. Now, real quick before you go, I'd like to try something different for this video. I would like to auction this wallet and donate the proceeds to the National WW2 Museum. You can find links to the auction site in the video description or in the pinned comment below. I don't promise that the wallet is perfect, but I do promise a faithful homage to a soldier among many to whom I owe my thanks. And as always, a big thank you to you as well for watching.